Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Messages. I'm Candace Smith. Happy Monday. Let's see. What do we want to do? Start off with thinking about the week coming up. So, what are your goals? What are your dreams? Intentions? What do you want to do? What are you excited about? Who do you want to meet? Learn from? I think all good questions, since we're kind of not looking back and thinking about our week. Trying to think, this is, man, it's just like I had so much information that came in, and then I didn't really, have a chance to kind of filter through it all. So I'll see what happens as usual. We do have a full moon on Thursday, the 24th. I believe that's correct. Full moon is good for, kind of writing down what you want to release, anything that you want to get rid of, anything that no longer serves you. So try to think about those things that you really just want to improve. You want to see fall away. You want to, have not taking up space in your life. Because when you have those things that you don't want taking up space, then all the things that you do want don't have any room to come in. So for today's message, I think it's, I don't know if it's related or not. Might be. But the thought was that when we are kind of going about our day-to-day lives, and we can certainly end up being on autopilot because of all the habits that we have. So, you get up, you get dressed, you shower and eat breakfast or coffee or whatever it is, and we work, and then we have, all of the commitments that we're responsible for, dinner, bed, that kind of thing. If you're lucky enough to have all those things, of course. We don't take for granted, having a bed or being able to have a cup of coffee. I think if we can somehow make that a priority, just as a baseline, that waking up to what we would consider some of those things that are very simple, having dinner on the table, and we always try to use the language in my house, like we get to go to the grocery store, like you have a car, you have food readily available, and we can get to it. So if I have the opportunity to not skip over the importance of, try to consistently stand back and recognize those things, then it can, continue to cultivate those feelings of really having the ability, having an able body, being able to get places and being able to have those things available. So anyway, but, when we kind of get on autopilot and we get autopilot and we get into, like these routines, and we just don't sort of see the world around us. So the idea today is to just have the thought of broadening our perspective more so from the observer standpoint than it would be what our perspective can be, which is very assumptive, sort of a narrow scope. We look for a certain outcome, we look for certain conversations with people, and we look to find, results based on our actions. And when those things don't happen, we can get frustrated or angry or disappointed, and it can be difficult to see, like, why didn't this turn out, or being upset because you really put a lot of effort and energy and emotion into something and it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. So the idea is that if we can take a step back and become a little bit more of the observer in understanding that everything around us is information. So experiences that you have, books that you read, food that you eat, people that talk to you, seeing those things from a third party perspective. So, understanding that things really do happen for you and not to you, even though it can feel like it at the time. But, being able to say to yourself that if your car breaks down and you just really sort of get yourself into that spiral of like, why me? And where is this, how am I going to cover the expenses for this? I'm late for work. How is this going to impact work? And really getting into like that spiral, that hamster wheel, that place where it just goes into this line of questioning that really can put you in a position where you're not getting good answers, right? Because when we ask our brain questions, it will answer them. So one thing, we want to look for the right kind of questions to ask and look for the right things, and not that there's a right or wrong, but look for things that might help us improve our experience or give us more information. So, as you look around, what might you see? Let's say you're stranded on the side of the road. Hopefully that's not the case. I couldn't think of anything less severe. I don't know. Maybe you drop a plate. Maybe that's easier. Okay, so we won't put it out there that your car breaks down. We'll just say you drop a plate. That's not quite as time consuming or expensive. So, you know, sort of getting into it, that why does this happen and I've got to replace it or whatever it is. And then stepping back from that and just saying, what am I learning from this? What kind of information am I getting? How am I feeling? And how can I take this experience and move forward? And really, it's interesting because it is happening to you, but it's kind of funny when you say, like, don't take it personally, because everyone's going to experience things that they're supposed to, that that are frustrating, that we get very emotional about, that we wish were different. And no one is excused from having these experiences and these thoughts and these feelings towards themselves or other people. It's just about how we handle it and how we take in what's basically the information that's behind it. So if you have the chance to really step back and recognize, okay, all this is another experience with more information for me to learn, for me to grow, for me to understand where there is room for improvement or new relationships, and to really try to think about even undoing or improving the relationships that you may have had growing up, so that maybe if a parent or a relative acted a certain way while you're growing up, that you are exhibiting that same behavior. So asking, is this mine? Is this something that I would do and that I can relate to? Is this coming from me? And you may find that some things are just habit, or you might find that, I'm really upset about something else. This actual experience shouldn't really cause me to be this upset. So kind of taking a step back, and first of all, just thinking of it in terms of, what can I learn from this? Maybe I should have set it somewhere, I don't know why we're still talking about a plate, but if you set it somewhere different on the counter, okay, now I've learned something. So then you're creating value from an experience. Like, okay, I've learned that, or, I need to use paper plates. Maybe things that can break are not for me. So first of all, saying, okay, what have I learned from this? And then saying, okay, my reaction. Is this in line with my values? Is this who I am? Is this the kind of person that, if I were on camera, that I would want people to see me reacting in this way? Would I be proud of this behavior? And not that you have to be that way 100% of the time, but it just gives you the opportunity to think about, is this really me? Is this coming from somewhere else? Or is this coming from something else that's happened? And I'm really upset about this, other thing, and I'm carrying it over into this. And then, what if this, like, plate breaks? And, kind of look around, like, step back and look around. Is there something that you see that reminds you, of something important or a new idea? And even taking it a step further and saying, how can I make this better? How can I improve this experience, even if it happens to me again, if it happens to somewhere else? Curiosity is where invention comes from. So how can I make this better? How did this happen in the first place? So I think creating that healthy curiosity to say, what's around this? Or, maybe looking around, because if something like that happens, it's causing you to stop. So when we stop and get taken out of our sort of autopilot and routine, we're going to notice new things that we hadn't noticed before if we give ourselves the chance to see them, instead of barreling through it, mumbling, frustrations, cleaning up, moving on, and then start I don't know, chopping vegetables or whatever. I assume someone's making dinner and they're eating vegetables. But, you know, I'm hoping that this can turn your experiences into information and not something that's happening to you and it's personal, and looking at our reactions to make sure that they're our own, that we're proud of those reactions that we have. And even if you do, you know, you had that one less time than you normally would have, then you've already improved and you've taken away a learning lesson. You've looked around to see if there are any other messages or information that are coming from this, because something has created a break in your pattern. So I don't know if that made sense or not. It did to me in my head. I don't know how it comes out to everyone else. But hopefully this will create better experiences for you and help you feel empowered by the fact that you're just getting more information. You're just having experiences. And to be able to step back from those and understand what the lesson is, what the value is, and who you are in those moments, then it may help you to have better experiences in the future and for those around you. So hope this helps. Work your week. Don't work this week. I'll see you guys next week. And if you need me, I'm here for you. Bye.